Force prequels.
I didn't catch that, but
okay, fair enough.
And plus, we never see them either, so
it's true.
So LaForge, Geordi LaForge, and Crusher are gonna go fix it.
Mm-hmm. Wesley Crusher.
Wesley, not Dr. Crusher.
Dr. Crusher is trapped in the simulation with them.
Yes.
And they're all having a blast.
They're having a great time.
They have no idea that the world's about to end outside of it.
And they're having a great time until this, like, really squirrely-looking dude is like, Dixon Hill, you finally came back. Shoots the dude that no one, like, not...
The 20th century
the dude,
story.
yeah, who we don't care about. Like, he doesn't shoot Data, Crusher, Picard, shoots the other dude. And, like, legit, like, shoots him.
Right.
And they're like, holy shit, this guy's gonna fucking die.
Right.
And then his boss shows up. His boss is Red Block.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you know, like...
They got some great character actors in this episode, too. Like,
yeah.
the guy running the newsstand is one of those character actors you see in everything in that time period. And so is...
Red Block.
Red Block, that actor. Like, you know that voice. You hear it in movies all the time.
It's Maura Tierney's Papa.
Real life Papa?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Lawrence Tierney.
Something so beautiful could come from that gruff old exterior.
But it's great because, like, the guy shows up and he pulls a heater on him. And Picard, like, backhands, like, you know, well, shoots the dude, and then backs... no, he doesn't... Does he shoot him at that point?
Does Picard shoot?
No, there's the squirrely dude shoot the historian.
I don't remember. I watched it this morning, and I don't remember.
All
I know is the guy gets shot. And Crusher's like, he's going to die if I can't get him out of here. And I'm wondering, is that a malfunction of the holodeck? Or is that just a possibility whenever you go into one of these things? Like, hey, you could die.
No, it's I mean, you can set it up that way.
Right.
It says, like, Data says something like the safety measures are disabled.
Oh, okay.
But no,
it's like the danger room's gone amok.
But no, yeah, he shoots him, and that's when Picard, like, backhands him, and he's like, "You struck me!"
Yeah, like, you just shot my friend.
It's like you're gonna pay for that. It's like, what? Like, all right, like, apparently, like, in this story, like, shooting people, like, is totally cool, but you hit someone?
That's an insult.
That's fucked up. Hey, that's super fucked up.
Okay,
so they show up, and Picard is like, look, dude, like, this isn't supposed to happen. Like, we're not from this time. We're, like, from the future, from space. Like, something crazy is happening.
Right.
And Red Block's like, oh, really? Like, well, you know, like, that sounds awesome. Like, with that kind of, like...
I would like to see the future.
Yeah, like, let's do it. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. And he's like, pulling out a gun. I was like, I'll tell you what I don't want, or whatever. And he's like, all right, go ahead. And so, meanwhile, like, Geordi and Crusher, Wesley, they're fixing the holodeck.
Right.
There's a point where
Wesley's first trying to put the fix in.
Yeah.
And he makes it snow times.
Yeah, he, like, for like a second, like...
Yeah, like, they're standing in the middle of a winter tundra, and it cuts back, and they're all covered in snow.
Yeah. And
that was a great bit.
And so he's like, all right, you can leave now if you want this new world to plunder, like, you know, to take over.
Right.
And they're like, all right, so they go out and they're like, this is the future, huh? And they all they start to disintegrate, they dissolve away.
Yeah, and you know, while Lord Tierney's spouting off all these cliches about, you can't do this to me, don't you know who I am?
I'm Red Block.
Right.
And so
the cop, who I guess was sort of, who's Dixon Hill's friend.
Yeah, his friend on the Force.
Right.
And everyone dips out, and the cop talks to him.
Yeah, and basically, it's like, am I gonna cease to exist?
Well, because like he's there while Picard is explaining everything,
right?
And he's like, okay, so you said this is all like fake, and you're from the future, so like, am I gonna not be around once you leave?
Right.
Like, are my wife and kids still gonna wait? Are they just still gonna be waiting for me?
Right. This is some serious Vanilla Sky type shit.
Like,
this is like Kurt Russell.
And Picard does the greeting to the insect race, and that's fine.
Yeah, he dips out. You know, the guy invokes the title. Picard like shows up in his gangster or in his private dick outfit, and with Data, and like rattles it off like perfectly.
Like, no problem. But
and then they're allowed to leave, and Geordi's like, "What was it like, Data?" And Data starts spouting off vernacular.
Like,
They play fast and loose with what Data understands and doesn't understand. Yeah. Like sometimes, like he doesn't understand what
he's fascinated by bickering, but like will jump on like 1920s lingo like that.
Right, well, also, he understands the lingo perfectly, but he doesn't understand why a lamp stops working if he drags it too far in the middle of the room. Well, whatever, it makes for a fun gag. But, yeah.
But, like, I'd known about the holodeck just, like, as a trope.
As a concept.
As a concept. Be like, oh, you can go in and imagine, like, you know, it's just like, you know.
It's the Imaginarium.
Yeah, you can go in and pretend, and it's pretend time.
Right.
This adds some, like, heavy, like, existential, like, crazy shit.
It's a weird thing for them to choose to add. And then in their first full holodeck episode, they address it head on. Like, they don't wait till, like, season 3 to be like, this thing you think is awesome? Think about it.
Like, actually, like, you know, like, really dive into it.
Right. They're just straight from Front Street. They're like, this is kind of fucked up that we do this.
Yeah, because this dude is a sentient being, because he's aware that he exists and that there's...
It's not like an NPC in an RPG game. Like, it's not like he only has a certain number of conversation options. Like, he can interact with you in real time.
It's not like I'm talking to a guard and he's like, oh, you're an adventurer. I used to be an adventurer until I took an arrow in the knee, and that's it. It's like he's not going to be like, hey, once you turn off your Xbox, like, am I still going to exist?
Right. Do I get to go home
when
you're not here?
Like, will I get to see my kids grow up?
Right.
Like, that's what this is, and it's super fucked up.
It is.
They're like little walking, talking Skynets, except without the whole killing people
thing. Because, I mean...
which makes it even sadder.
If Rob told us... I assume he did, or if we understood what he told us correctly, the replicator makes the things in there real. It's what makes the bullets real. And it's using some of the same technology they use in the transport beam, the same thing that was able to reconstitute Picard after he went off to be Mind Space last week. So, like, these are real people for the length of time that they're in there. They're not just holograms, I think. I think they're actually built.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, there's genetic code in there.
Like, that's why, you know, Wesley would still be wet. That's why he tracked water along the, you know, the corridors after he falls into a puddle in the holodeck.
So, basically, the holodeck is a site of a silent holocaust. That's my favorite.
The Holocaust deck.
Yeah, holodeck Holocaust. That's my Star Trek novel that I'm trying to get published. With
like, why won't you do it?
Yeah, pocket books I don't understand.
That's
my existential crisis.
That's
Star Trek
crazy.
Novel.
I mean, I wish they would have. Like, I think you're right. I think it would have hit harder if it was like maybe third or fourth season. Like, you know, be like, oh, this is so much fun. You can go in and play pretend. It's dope. And then like third season, you're like, oh shit! Like this whole time, like what's been going on?
Right. Like we need to think about what we're doing here.
That's super fucking crazy.
Yeah. So
next,
a really good episode.
Awesome episode. Next week, Data Lore, Angel 1, 11001001.
I've heard, actually, I read somewhere that's like apparently the first truly great Next Generation episode. But I'm really enjoying what we're seeing so far. So if it gets even better.
And Too Short a Season next week. Those are the 4 we'll be tackling next week.
No Q?
No Q. I forgot. He only shows up a few times.
Yeah, that's true. But like to get 2 of those appearances so close together.
Yeah.
I feel like we wasted some of it. Like again, save it for season 3. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, maybe they're trying to put their best foot forward.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm happy he came back this week.
So yeah, that's it. Please like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Into Dorkness. You can leave us reviews on iTunes. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
And hello to all our newest listeners.
Yes. Leave us comments.
Leave us comments. Leave us only good ones. Like your show was awesome. I laughed a lot. If you have bad stuff to say, even if it's constructive, I don't care to hear it.
Yeah, we're not interested in doing
like my ego is
so fragile.
Like like China doll fragile. Like don't touch it because like just the slightest thing
will shatter it, and the show might go off the rails at that point.
And then,
welcome to Into Dorkness. Oh, who gives a shit?
Who cares? I watched Star Trek. I liked it, but who cares that I did?
Yeah, what does it matter if I liked it or not?
I'm just a character in a holodeck. Bye.
And you still post the episode.
Yeah.
It's still available.
Yeah, for sure.
Just weeks and weeks.
Well, you know, one thing I've learned is that you don't make promises that you can't keep.
And if you promise an episode every week,
then you got to deliver an episode. The quality of it and the length of it.
We didn't make any promises
about that. I mean, this episode, Like
all over the goddamn map.
all over the map. It's like 2 hours long. Whatever.
It's like a George R.R. Martin novel. It's wide.
It just keeps getting longer and longer, and like I don't know when it's gonna end.
Yeah.
But yeah, join us next week. We'll be discussing obviously those 4 episodes of Trek that we just.
Right. Are we doing Blade Runner?
We're doing Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Which version are we watching?
We're gonna watch the
final cut.
The final cut.
Okay. So do you have that, or
I don't have
we need
that.
to do a movie night?
We're gonna do a movie night.
Okay.
We're gonna pop some popcorn, crack open some cola.
Pop open a Blu-ray that's been gathering dust on Sean's shelf for
and
a few
then
years.
Pop it into a PlayStation 3
and just let it roll.
Just fucking live. LIVIN LLAP
KO.
This has been an Dorkness production.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.